What's going on, guys? What's cracking? Back out here in the garage right now, and I finally kind of just want to do an overview of the car. It's been quite some time since I've even talked about it, and kind of gone over everything that's done to the vehicle. I get people messaging me how much power, all this, that, and the other. And now that I have the lift, I can go underneath of it, make things a little bit easier. So I kind of wanted to go over the car, what's all done to it right now, the modifications that I've done over the years, and the iterations that it's gone through. Maybe take it out for a little drive too, if possible here. Right now the weather's good, but we've been getting rain. So let's hope for the best and hope the weather holds off. Also, check out that sweet Night Run Garage. If you guys want to, go check them out in the link below, or click up here. Night Run Garage has been a great supporter. Chris and Ben, the owners of Night Run Garage, have been fantastic. They've done a lot of cool stuff for me over the years. One of those cool things would be this overflow tank. I don't have the badass looking Night Run Garage sticker on it right now, but usually they have a decal in there that says Night Run Garage, but they make these custom tanks. I don't have a line running off it right now either. If you see there, usually you would run a line down underneath. I don't have that set up, but I'm not going to try to get off track here. Let's try to stay with it, and because it is a Supra, let's start with the most important part, the engine. Alright guys, so what you're looking at is a 2JZ GTE that originally was twin turbo. I get asked this a lot. If you see on the top of it there, it does say two-way twin turbo. And originally this engine does come with twin turbos, but as you can see, we have a giant single on it now. This is a Borg-Warner S369 SXE. I've had it powder coated and then ceramic coated. That turbo is then held up by a Powerhouse Racing S23 manifold. That manifold is by far the best manifold on the market for 2JZ, hands down. Quality, fitment, everything about it is just on another level. Brad, who welds this up for them, he's just another level. He's always trying to perfect it, and I love that about them. It is running twin 46 millimeter. You can see precision wastegates there. It's got a 4-inch Powerhouse Racing downpipe, and then it has more exhaust going to there, which I'll show once we get up. The catch can is made by Empire Performance. This is my 4th or 5th one I've had made for the car now. I'm having another one made by Night Run Garage right now. It's gonna be pretty trick. I'll let you guys see that when it's all done. Very, very cool when it's going to be all done. I don't want to go too much into it there. Continuing with the engine here, it does have a custom cover on it. This is a factory cover, I should say, but custom painted, a Ford factory blue. It does have OCD Works billet valve covers. So if you can see here, these are not factory valve covers. They have the AN dash bungs in the rear, and it is baffled for that setup. It then uses dash 10 vibrant line. That line looks like it's seen better days. I might have to redo that just looking at it. Before I get too far, on the oil and feed, it's just a regular oil and feed drain line setup. It's a dash 4 feed with a dash 10 return. I'd like to go down to a dash 3. I'm getting a little bit of oil in my intake. That feed just seems to be a little big. On my old setup, I also ran a dash 3, and I think I need to go back to a dash 4. On the manifold 2, I am running titanium hardware there. That is from Bear Boost Performance, another great sponsor and someone that's helped me out a ton. I'm running a Mishimoto Radiator that I've had in the car for about 7 years now, and maybe 50,000 miles. And it is fully powder coated, even the fins. Not sure how the guy did it, but he did. It's never leaked, never had an issue. I'm running the original Mishimoto Radiator cap too. So I've heard so many people say bad things about these, but it's been fantastic. I'm still in my original one. I have a TT shroud with a TT mechanical fan blade. I am running the Powerhouse Racing hard pipe here for the coolant. You can see I've shaved a lot of stuff off here too. So the nipples there that originally went to the coolant lines into the stock twins, I've shaved and welded shut. I've also done that down below here for the water pump. There's a nipple that comes off of there too that I've then shaved shut. On the intake manifold side, I'm still running a factory intake manifold. Personally, I like these manifolds for the fact that they help keep you low end torque. I believe the factory throttle on these is 80 millimeter. I could be wrong, but it seems to have worked pretty darn well. Or it should be 75, I believe, because I think it's 3 inches, because it's a 3-inch pipe. I believe it's 3 inches, so 75 millimeters would be 3 inch roughly, so 25.4 millimeters in an inch. So I think that's correct. Some basic stuff over here, you got typical AEM sensors, that's electronics, we'll get to that then. Very basic car. It has 272 brine power cams inside with factory valves still. I'm using BC springs and retainers though, so nothing crazy there inside the head. Again, stock block, stock oil pan, stock pickup. I've just been very fortunate. As you guys watch my videos, I'm very hard in the car, so I'm very fortunate how well the car is held up. Running a Powerhouse Racing power steering overflow tank and their line setup here, if you can see, like the way this looks and set up in there. I'm also running a drift motion high pressure line there. As you can see, I'm getting a little bit of a leak right here though. That's not from the line, it's coming from above it. I've been trying to tighten it up. I'm not sure if the crush washer wasn't tightened from originally when I did it myself years ago or what's going on, but it does look like it's starting to leak. In the front mount intercooler, I believe this is, I know it's a Powerhouse Racing, but I want to say it's their 5-inch or it might be the 4.5. This is the cast end tank version, so it isn't their fancy one that is like this, you know, sheet metal that they weld up, but I kind of like the cast end tanks, so less chance of breaking in my opinion. And so far it seems to held up well. My IATs aren't too terrible, but I think that also has to do with my IAT sensor being there. It could be a little bit better, but I need to move that sensor down below. But that's pretty much the engine. It's very basic, but continuing the engine bay if we want to here. I do suspension-wise, we can look at that. I do have Megan Racing coilovers, easy streets, very basic. It seems to hook pretty well. I do think they are starting to leak a little bit, not this side, the other side's starting to leak out. So I think my passenger side needs to be rebuilt. I'm running drift motion strut tower covers. I've had those in the car for about 3 years. I always thought they'd add a nice little touch, especially because mine, this is all original paint in my engine bay here. Just cleaned it up as best as I could. It started to have a little rust there, so I hit like black touch-up paint on it and then put the covers over it so it didn't rust anymore and you couldn't see it. So it's my little hidden gem there. Obviously, I've deleted ABS and I made custom hard lines. So I made brake lines along with Austin Conrad helping me back in the day. Actually, I should take that back. He pretty much did all this back in the day. We went through multiple iterations. He's the one who pretty much helped teach me how to do this. So I owe a lot for him. He was very diligent and took his good time with that. So I owe a lot to him. We're also running a tile blow-off valve on this car. I've had that since day one too. Haven't had to rebuild it. Diaphragm seems to be holding up just fine. Been happy with that. And then I do have a Tilton master cylinder over here for the clutch, which I'll go down underneath the car here and show you guys all of that. With all that being said, the car made 882 wheel horsepower and 750 torque at 30 PSI on a Dynapack dyno up at IMW, tuned by John Kerr. Now, as of recently, we went down to Irv's shop here in Hagerstown, Maryland, put the car on the dyno. I did leave traction control on. I didn't think to turn it off, nor did I know you had to turn it off. I've never ran the dyno myself before, and I wasn't told to turn it off. So that's kind of my fault, but the car made 700 wheel horsepower on his dyno and then 740 torque. So something was off there. I think that has to do with the fact that I left on the traction control. So I'm thinking if I turn that off, it'd go up and change the torque curve and all that stuff. So I'd like to go back and try it again with that turned off. But yeah, it's a pretty fun car. It's held up really well, but let's go into the interior of the car next and check out that. So this is probably the biggest area I haven't touched that much in a long time. It does need updated. It does need gone over. It's definitely showing its age just from wear and tear. There's some rips and tears here. That stuff, that's how I bought it years ago. I've owned this car almost 10 years now, and I bought it with this damage. It still has the original interior. So you can see the belts are starting to not come back like they should automatically. You have to force them back in. This is the original leather. It's definitely starting to show its age there, but it's not bad. This is the driver's side. The passenger side's even better. I did install a 97 plus steering wheel in the car. In the dash, let me get in here. If you guys can see, the dash has been wrapped in like this metallic material. A local woman, Emily Moore, wrapped this all for me, and she did a fantastic job. The camera's not picking it up, but it's like a metallic wrap, and it looks phenomenal. Very happy with it. Running stock gauges in the car. I am running a Bti gauge here. That's a pretty trick little piece. Actually, I'll go ahead and turn not on, but just so you guys can see this. Bti, then you throw up my splash screen for pure function, and then it just has a bunch of features. So like I can change all my boost, my traction control, see every bit of data I need to right from this. So my E85 content, IAT, water temp, fuel, air fuel ratio map, everything you would need, and then you got multiple pages on top of it. It's just, there's data for days on this. I pretty much keep it on this page here, unless I need to change my boost. So you have boost and traction control. I'll go here. I can go up or I can go down. I like to keep the car, if not trying to race somebody, on level 2 or 3, which is around 22, 23 PSI. It's plenty of fun for me on the street and keeps the engine a little bit happier. And yes, I am still running a single din. The only reason I've run it for this long is, well, two reasons. One, I don't feel like buying another unit. It's worked well for me. Number two is there's no storage in these cars. As you can see, we have no real door pockets. You have this, but if you set anything in here, your arm's going to be rubbing against it. So it's kind of annoying. You have your center console here, which, if you can see, is a bit of a joke. There ain't much room there. So you have that, and then your glove box, and that's it. And your glove box is very tiny. Trunks in these things are a bit of a joke too. They do have back seats. Most people don't realize that. They do have back seats. But I never, sitting someone back there is pretty much useless. Again, target top car too. So it does have a racing shift knob on it to the T56 Magnum down below. I do like that. The car's nice. It just needs a little bit of updating. All right, guys, so got the car up in the air now. So let's take a good look, a good gander underneath here. First and foremost, you can see the intercooler there looking massive. So this gives a better perspective of how wide it is there. Still got plenty of room. The one nice thing with the Supra, where I've seen it with other cars, now working on my buddy's GSX, like we really don't have to cut or do anything. Like we literally have enough room to just stuff one of these massive intercoolers in here. I think this is the 4.5 or 5 inch, but you can fit a 6-inch intercooler in here without cutting or doing anything. Now where it does get tight, and I have seen people cut, is here at the bumper. You can see I even had Powerhouse Racing re-weld this and readjust this so I didn't have to cut my bumper. If you can see, it just barely fits. And I guarantee while going fast, it's pressing up against this pipe, but it does fit. You can fit all your lines in there. This is my AC lines, which are a little banged up. They're not perfect, but they still all work. I do have the, let's see if I can get this here. Dwell design, skid shield, and from when it was lower, I started to skid it up some. That's when I was really low, and I did bang it up some, but it has saved the engine. The engine bay has stayed a lot cleaner now. I am much happier about that. If we can get in here, it keeps my bottom of the engine much cleaner. I don't worry about debris coming up and getting in the belts or anything, especially when we're going high speed, so it makes me quite happy. But if we walk under here more, you can see the 4-inch mid pipe here, which goes back into a 4-inch catback exhaust, which there is no catalytic converter, of course. This is a Powerhouse Racing mid pipe and catback. The muffler that used on this is a Burns stainless muffler, which I really, really like this. It has this nice big tip on it too. I think it looks cool, it sounds good. It's louder than most straight pipes, which is weird. Something about the muffler makes it extremely loud. I was talking to Mike Boca about it, and you're riding a straight pipe car, and for some reason, this car's even louder than a straight pipe vehicle. It's insane, actually. So we go back up here. We can look at this too here. So this is the differential. It is a 200 millimeter out of an Aristo. I used to have an Auto TT with an LSD in it, and I blew that up. Got wheel hop and went kaboom. So now I am running Aristo diff, which is the same thing. It's a 200 millimeter ring gear with an OS Geisken 1.5 way LSD. I am running battle version solid mounts, ears and rear mounts, and I've had those in there for about 3 years. I am running Titan Motorsports sway bars on the car too. Then we come up here, I've got a 4-inch drive shaft. Now, probably what the black is, with this drive shaft being this big, it was hitting up here. We did adjust the trans mount and it brought it down some, but I do get a little bit of markings there every once in a while on the e-brake assembly, which is free floating up there. So that is kind of annoying, but there's nothing really that anyone can do about that. If we want to talk next, which is probably one of the biggest things with this car, it does have a T56 Magnum made by Grandis Racing. He uses custom mount. You can see he uses a Prothane mount there too. He makes this out of chromoly. Then he has a custom bell housing made by QuickTime. It's been great. I am using his new Bluetooth setup, and yes, the wiring is not the best down here. I do need to clean this up. But this is a little Bluetooth module, that's all it is. That gives you your speed and everything, and allows you to have reverse lockout, which is up there too. Kind of nice. Then we have the fuel system here. We've got the flex fuel sensor, which I forgot, I didn't talk about that. This car has FIC 1650cc injectors with a -8 feed and -6 return using race flux fuel lines and fittings. I really, really like this race flux stuff. I still have some extra laying around here, but I really like it, along with this Radium fuel filter. I love the way it mounts. My old one was held in with zip ties. It's nice, it just physically mounts to the body. I don't worry about it coming loose or banging around. I really do like it. The filter is twice the size as my Fuel Lab filter too, which I thought was nice. But you can see here, we've got a -6 return and -8 feed return. I also have my battery line running across here too. Some people say that's so scary, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of cars that do this though from the factory, so don't be worried, guys. Again, we'll come back here. We're running Powerhouse Racing brackets that hold everything together. I really like those too. I wish they had one for here, but there's no way to bolt it up. They do have one there. And then it goes up with zip ties from here on out. How's that looking there? I might need to put a zip tie there. Come back. We are still running stock axles on this car too from 1995 with 180,000 miles on them. How they've held up this long, I have no idea, and I hope they last a lot longer. Been very happy about that. And then inside the tank itself here, I'm not gonna put it back down or try to show you, but it has a triple pump setup in it, triple pump hanger, I should say, from Powerhouse Racing, but I'm only running 2 pumps. It has 2 525 Hellcat pumps from Marlboro, and then that's controlled by a Kaizen Motorsports wiring harness from him. I guess up front too, it also runs a Kaizen harness there. And then inside ECU wise, it is running an AIM Infinity with a Kaizen harness, like I was saying there. And just, you know, normal sensors, AIM, fuel pressure, oil pressure, you name it, it has it. It makes it kind of nice for regulating everything. So if God forbid something does go wrong, it will shut the car down. But that's about the gist of it, guys. I might have missed a few things here or there, so please excuse me, but let's put it back down and let's turn this bad boy on. All right, guys, so enough of that. Let's go ahead and jump in the car here and see how this goes. Man, I've got horrible raccoon eyes. I think I laid out in the sun a little too long there the other day. But let's go take the car for a drive. I've got my GoPro set up in the other window, so I'm trying to get the best perspective as possible. I'm gonna use my Sony camera here for my main view and then my GoPro for the off view. Go ahead and jump in here. Ugh. Sorry for the beep. Go ahead and turn this on per usual. Get that screen up there, get that splash. Put my foot in the brake. I do have the clutch disabled just to be safe. Sounds good each and every time here. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and back out of the driveway here. Hopefully this works well. Again, I'm using this Sony camera, so I'm not sure how it does well, how it handles like bumps and stuff like that, so please bear with me here. So far it seems to be all right. Have to put in like a sportier mode than what it is right now, but we'll see how this turns out. Again, guys, so the car drives pretty smooth. As you can see here, me driving off right now doesn't make any crazy noise. Yes, the car is loud, but like the drive and take off, the clutch in this, which is McLeod twin disc, I don't think I discussed that with the T56 Magnum. This was something that Joel got worked out to work for us 2JZ guys with his kit, and I mean, no jar marbles noise, no nothing. It just tell too, driving this car now with the new Magnum F in it, it just works extremely well. Shifting wise, it's just so much better, gradually shifting. So like if you see on the GoPro here and I shift, it just does it so well. Doesn't like seem clunky or nasty or cumbersome anymore. I did actually like the Sicky shifter to an extent. They came with the old Magnum setups. What bothered me with it was the bolts that went in the side. The quickness of the shifter and how short the shifts were, I love that. What I hated was the bolts coming undone and it didn't ever feel right. And what I mean by that is like when I made the shifts, it didn't seem like it was all there. I'm not sure how to explain that, but with this, since it's direct to the transmission, there's no secondary linkage that's got to go there, because the old one actually had the shifter sitting back and you're using a linkage to actually shift the shift point, if that makes sense. And it just never felt the same. So this is much better. Again, if I shift here going down or trying to go up again to third, it just does it so well. It's like perfect. I love it. So very happy with the transmission. Car drives well too. The AIM Infinity in this car is very, very smooth. Again, tuned by John Kirk. I love it. Now I can say one thing, guys. One thing that's kind of bothered me is it has the cranking time takes a little bit longer than I would like. You can dial that in a little bit more, but no matter what, AEM has a start sync sequence, and that's only with the Infinity. The AEM V1 and V2 didn't have that. It's to check every parameter, it's to check every sensor before it starts the car. I get that. I think that's kind of neat. They do that as a fail-safe, but I wish it was a little bit quicker. It is kind of annoying. You're sitting there cranking and cranking and people thinking something's wrong with the car when nothing's really wrong. One thing I just noticed too, I forgot to turn my ND filter on, so if I seem really dark right now, that's my fault. This does have a built-in ND filter, and I didn't turn it on, so I think you guys will be okay. I want to get to a spot where the car's outside too, to show it a little bit more. I can show off the 50 Shades of Grey a little bit better that way. I'm just gonna find an open parking lot to talk about it. I love hearing this noise. Oh, right there. Did you see that? Did you guys see that? That little like blip? That's something the AEM has too, and we have no idea why. There's so many people out there. Jose, who I talked to, says it's got to be a tuner issue. If that's the case, he's got the only special tuner I know of that doesn't have this issue. I talked to everyone else, and they all experience this. It's something to do with the software. AEM's working on it. Hopefully they get that fixed soon. I keep bugging them, and this last time they said, yep, it's going to be ready shortly, because it has that like that little blip, like you'd be going and just burn. No rhyme or reason, no explanation. I changed out the harnesses, I changed everything, I changed all the sensors. Doesn't make any sense. And it still doesn't, so I'm hoping they resolve that here soon. I guess I shouldn't even complain because it's so random, like it did it there for no reason. Again, shows shifting through the gears here, just love it. Love that blow-off valve too. It just sounds so nice. Hopefully the wind's not too bad here, guys. Woo. God, I love that noise. The brakes now too, these APG brakes, muy guapo. I might change out the pads. I was talking to Tyler Bishop the other night, and he said the same thing. He has a brake setup that's similar to mine, and he's using the street pads too, and I think he's going to try the street strip pads, as they're called. I want to give those a shot and see how it handles, but for the most part, it does good. It needs a little bit more brake dust than usual, nothing crazy. Quiet, no screeching, no nothing. I keep checking every time for leaks, because you never know. New brakes, new company, you want to double check everything, but so far, so good. I come around this corner and I hit the brakes. Oh God, you see it? Just barely touch them and it works. Now, if they get too much heat in these street pads, they're done. They don't work all that well, so you gotta make sure you don't go too crazy. One thing too, I do need to replace the, oh shoot, the O2 sensor on this. It is definitely going bad. Like right now, it's adding fuel on D-cell. It shouldn't be doing that. It should be able to tell that it doesn't need that. Why it's adding fuel on D-cell, I don't know. Has a few little quirks too. It's been giving me a check engine code. AEM's telling me like, hey, this sensor is not working, and it blinks at me. I talked to Vlad over at National Speed, and he's like, yeah, it's most likely your O2 sensor going bad. It's just telling you, because the reason it's only doing it for a short bit and then going away, because once the sensor's warmed up, it's thinking it's okay, but it's like telling you up front, like, hey, this is starting to go bad, you might want to get rid of it. So it's been in it for a long time. I've been running E85 with it pretty much all this time. And E85 is very hard on all your sensors. It's pretty much race gas, right? So it's hard on everything. There's the blip again. Man, that's twice in only 10 minutes. That's horrible. I still love driving it though, I don't even care. Taking a little relaxing drive here. Hope this is what you guys wanted to see. I keep getting asked what's done in the car, what's this, what's that. So I hope this answers a lot of those questions. I wanted to get out with it, kind of do a little drive with you guys. I'm always stuck in the garage. Just being honest, after a long day, like sometimes I want to drive, the other times it's almost like a chore. And I know that sounds stupid, like how is it a chore? Well, once it gets to a certain power level, certain things, it does stink a little bit in here, I'm not gonna lie. It's a little crusty smelling. That's most likely from the catch can. But besides that, it's not too bad, but I prefer just driving the sedan, which I prefer driving my Corolla when I can. This is my baby. My wife will probably drive her Supra more than I drive this anymore. I drive it a lot when it's only on the weekends. During the week, I try not to even drive this thing. One thing I am getting though, I'm getting this vibration in my pedal. I hope I'm not butchering your name, brother. Bti Gauge? I hope I'm not saying his name wrong. I'll link his Instagram here. He's got a badass white wide body Supra. But we're getting like this weird vibration in our foot pedal. And it's not just me, I thought it was me. And I just got it as of recently. I think I have a broken motor mount, but after talking to those guys and multiple other people having it, it's like, wait, did we all break our motor mounts all at once? Or is there some other underlying issue that we all have? We all have a T56 Magnum, but we all have different clutches and stuff. And mine didn't always do this, so I don't think it's the Magnum. So, I mean, that's what has me a little bit, like, unsure. Okay, now that was fun. That was definitely fun. I enjoyed the shit out of that. I can't help but smile. Like, I hope this doesn't come off fake, because it's seriously, I drive and I smile like this. That's why, like, every time in my head I'm like, maybe I should sell it. And I go through those periods where I don't drive it for a little bit and I'm like, yeah, no. Especially when it drives nice and I'm still having these little issues and I'm still like, yeah, it's fun. It's really fun. I don't know what I could replace this with besides the Viper that would make me feel like this. My issue with the Viper is it is a Dodge, so the quality of that is subpar. Hopefully this records here, guys. Sorry if there's wind noise now. I had to turn the AC on there with the windows down. The camera actually overheated, so hopefully it picked all that last bit of footage up there. Never had that. It's not, I guess it's not an action camera. It's sitting directly in the sun in my windshield right now, so first time for that. It is like 96 degrees in Pennsylvania today with, like, yeah, it's beautiful outside. So that's probably why. But let's get back to the house. I'll finish this off. I just wanted to do this quick little part because I'm never in the car. These downshifts are just like boom, boom. All right, guys, thank you for tuning in today. Sorry, kind of ended that abruptly there. The battery died, so, and the camera got a little too hot again. So kind of a lose-lose situation there, but it was fun driving it. The other GoPro kept messing up too. I wanted to get more angles of like shifting and stuff, but the GoPro kept like glitching and I'm not sure why. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a big like and a thumbs up if you did. Next video is gonna be on a couple tools and I've got some more stuff for the wife's car. Thank you guys very much for tuning in and I'll talk to you later. Peace.